Moo cows! Welcome back, YouTube. This is Gil's Garage, and I have an update. My car's dirty. I need to wash it. Work on it a little bit, but I haven't had time. I have an update on the wife's BMW. I had been tearing it apart little bit by little bit because she's been driving my son's Tiburon, so it ain't been that big of a deal. But it had a blown head gasket. A little backstory on it. We paid $800 for this. It's been a really good vehicle, but it overheated a little bit. Clear coat's peeling on it right there, but that's one of the major damages on it is the clear coat. Don't need to see the tag. And that little dent below that light. But other than that, this thing's in really good shape. Interior's really nice. Like I said, we only paid $800 for it, so what money we spend on it, fixing it, it's no big deal. But it was overheating. Figured it was just a blown head gasket. So I pulled it apart. BMWs were paying the butt to work on. Just so anybody knows. The exhaust manifolds were the worst part to take apart. There's no room between the head and this little area right here. Pain in the butt. Anyways, it overheated. Built up so much pressure in the cooling system, it popped the top on this overflow tank. Broke the top radiator hose because they just clip on. So, my garage's a mess. Anyways, here's how you get it. Pulled it apart. Got everything laid out on the table. Last night, I was checking the head. Going around there looking for any little cracks, because these are notorious for cracking. The heads are cracked in between the water jackets and the combustion chamber, or between the water jacket and the oil galley, which is this one. Sorry, not that one. That's head bolt. But they'll crack in between here, or in between here. More here and here than anything. But I was going around there checking it because nobody wants to order a new head. So far, everything looked good. And then I get to here, and there's a tiny little crack. So I was like, well, poo-poo. Yeah, that ain't good. I've seen worse, but it ain't good. And then we get up here to this one. And there's our problem. That is not good. This head is junk. We're going to have to trash it. So, tomorrow morning, when everything opens up, Monday, obviously, I'm going to order a new head. And it'll come with all the cams, lifters, whatnots, hibbity-hoo-blas. I got to pull my sensors. That sensor and the engine temperature sensor. I got to pull that all off, and that little Giffy bracket on the back that don't need to be on there, but I'm gonna put it back on there. And I've got to clean up the vanos because it's filthy. It had a valve cover leak too. My garage is a mess, but I got to clean it up too sometime today. Well, that's just a small update on that. It'll be going sometime this week, more than likely. I'll post more videos on doing the head gasket and whatnots. I still got to post some videos on the 300 because I've got a couple things I've got to do to it. I'll eventually post some videos on me pulling the carburetors off this thing because the jets are stopped up. It's only running on 2 cylinders. When it's dark out, you can see the inside 2 exhaust manifolds, the headers. They will glow bright red, but the other 2 will not. You have to run it on full choke, and it still won't idle, which I only give $1,200 for it. Somebody done a horrendous paint job on it. It looks awful. So I'm gonna strip it all down. I done started stripping it down right there. Back to the bare aluminum. I'm gonna order new fairings for it, do the body work on the tank, repaint it to match the fairings that I'm buying. Also got to buy a new headlight. Don't know how they got that scratched up like that, but it is. I'm gonna post some videos on the wife's Polaris. It needs some work. Upper motor mount, right about where my finger is, up underneath the tank. It's broke. So the motor kind of like flops around. Obviously it needs a new seat cover. It needs the A-arm bushings. And now it needs this bushing up here, because it fell out the other day while we was out playing. But it's got a brand new head, or well, not head, but it's got a brand new jug, new piston rings, fires up, runs fucking amazing. Let's see, it ain't been started in a couple of days. The choke cable's way up there because I don't have it put back together, because I have to pull it apart to weld that frame. Starts up, no choke, like it's supposed to, because people are weenies, don't know how to work with stuff. Anyways, all I've done to this was I had to pull the whole side of the motor apart. I should have done a video on that, because I rebuilt the water pump and put new seals in it because it was leaking. I put a battery on it, and right down in there I had to replace that rectifier because it was not charging. Now it charges fine, does what it's supposed to. My wife actually traded that Tiburon to my son for this four-wheeler, which wasn't a great deal for her, but it was a good deal for him. There's my wife's Ford. It's got 333,000 miles or some crap like that on it. We're gonna have to replace the motor in it because I'm not real sure what's wrong with it. Sorry, I was wiping my nose. I've replaced just about anything you can think of, and it still misses. Still doesn't want to run, still doesn't want to idle. It's got the original motor in it. I replaced the headlights. They're pretty. And I tinted the windows myself, which looks like crap up close, but from a distance, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Anywho, I replaced the ECU, every bit of the fuel system, down to the injectors, fuel pressure regulator, fuel filter, pump, the whole 9 yards. All the plugs, all the wires, distributor, coil, ignition switch, tumbler. I mean, it's intake manifold gasket, and it runs like crap, and you can't drive it. It dies, misses. You spray gas into the intake manifold, it runs perfect. I don't know if it's got a burnt valve or a blown head gasket, whatever. I'm not fiddling with it. We'll just buy a new motor for it. I'm not fiddling with it. My boat. Got it for free too. But there's my Chevrolet. What a heap of turd that thing is. Which I done the headlights and the grill and the billet grill. And I replaced this whole front clip because it was wrecked on the driver's side. That bumper was pushed in, broke the original grill that was in it, bent the hood. I replaced it. It's bent too though, but it's only bent right there. And that was the fender that come with the hood. I had to replace that fender. I've still got to replace that door because right down through here is pretty goobered up. I'm not messing with it. I don't do body work that well. It has 35 1250s on it, 18s. I do not like those rims. Wish they was a little bit wider and had a lip, but I mean, it is what it is. That's That was what was on it when I got it. This thing has a wrist pin knocking. Goes Chevy 350s, which this thing used to pull some pretty heavy loads. It's been a workhorse all of its life. It's been abused. I've had it buried all the way up, steep as the front bumper, down at the bridge, playing in the mud, and obviously the back tires are bald, because, hey, we got a power brake sometime. But it's been abused. It's been used and abused a lot. And it's got 200-something thousand miles on it. Yeah, I don't remember. I'll check. Yeah, 244,000. Like I said, it's been abused. Needs really good cleaning, because this is like the third time I've owned this truck. And every time I clean the interior and get rid of it, it comes back dirty. So I haven't yet cleaned it again this time. I had to pull everything back out of it. Seats, carpet, the whole 9 yards. Re-clean it. Man, I like my wife's Ford. That used to be mine. She took it from me. But yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. My kids don't know how to put their crap back up. But neither do I, obviously. Or I wouldn't have tools laying out here beside the bike. I've got a motor to replace that Chevrolet motor with, because it's, like I said, it's got a wrist pin knocking. It's right here. It's covered up with plastic, and it's rubber mat. It's rubber on the bottom. But I'm gonna replace the water pump and intake manifold gasket on it before I put it in there. That's just a temporary motor. That's a 305 out of a van. The Chevrolet has 350. So I'm gonna pull 350 out, rebuild it. That's about all the updates I've got right now. Not unless somebody wants to volunteer to come clean my garage, so I don't have to. And pour concrete would be fabulous if somebody wants to do that. Refrigerator's running, you might be able to hear it. There is the intake manifold for that BMW. Got to replace this whole CPVC system. There's valve cover. Might have walked back. But yeah. I believe I'm going to end this for today. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. If you want me to, I'll just do a video on the moo cows. There's plenty of them. They're usually over here in this field, but they're across the road today, up there by the barn. Anybody wants to come wash my car, that'd save me from doing it, because I don't want to. It needs to be done though. I rebuilt this car before I end the video. Obviously, you can tell I painted the front bumper, and I didn't do a very good job on it, because it was dark inside that garage. I didn't have enough lights, and when it was blowing, whatnot. But anywho, I painted that front bumper. That's a new front bumper. Both new headlights. This car had been totaled originally. It don't line up right there, because I guess because where it was wrecked. Plus, I don't have the clips for this bumper right here in the corner yet, but it's my son's car if he wants it, he can buy it. Car's dirty. I replaced that door. I replaced that fender also, but they actually match up paint wise, because I painted those too. It's just that stupid front bumper didn't turn out right. But all this was totaled. I had to replace a lot of the front suspension on this. And when we had it aligned, they had to loosen up the cradle and twist it, because they did push all that crap back. Like I said, I replaced the door. It's got a dent in it right there. The wife said it was her car at the time. She's like, I don't care about the dent. Put it together, paint it. Same thing with everything else. But yeah, it don't look too bad. Not for an old poor boy doing it in a crappy garage with crappy crap, because I don't have no really nice stuff yet. Just, you know, all I do is work, pay bills. It's got brand new tires on it. The wheels were on it when we got it. It's a 07 Tiburon GT V6 high speed. Runs really good. I'm not too keen on it because it's too small. I'm a little bit too big of a fella for that car. So I let my Chrysler. Alright, anyways, please like, subscribe.